Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me get over to comments. So, just wait a minute. Not quite a minute. You guys are good about popping on. So once I see whoever's on first, just let me know that you can hear me, that everything's good, and we'll get started. I feel like I'm getting a zit today, like right under my eyeball. I have to put some medicine on it or something. Hey, Rose. Awesome. You can hear me. Sweet. Okay. So tonight is day 2 of our September class where we're making all 5x7 cards with the One Horse Open Sleigh paper. Hey, Julie. So let me just go over quickly. Let me show you the info on the class, and then we're going to get into it because we already made 4 cards last night, and we're going to make 4 different ones tonight. So this class, just like my other classes, like that I do the online class, free to everybody to watch, and I'm going to update my blog so you don't have to worry about writing down the measurements while I'm going. I mean, you can if you want, obviously, but I'm actually going to have my blog updated tonight because I started it yesterday. So measurements and everything will be there. You can play along with your own materials. If you want the packet, though, with everything cut, you're going to get 8 card kits, all different designs that we're making, 8 envelopes, and these are all the 5x7. You're going to get a quarter pack of the One Horse Open Sleigh designer paper that you will have to cut that for each one of your cards because you may not want the same part of the pattern that I picked, right? Or you may want to do something else. So you're going to get that, and you're going to get a full pack of the Snowflake assortments, which I was looking and I've used just about half of them. So that's going to be good. All right, $41 if you're local and pick it up, $9 extra if you need it shipped. And if that is, if it's not $9, I refund you the difference. So just email me at tonystamps@yahoo.com to respond. And I need money by next Wednesday, the 20th. Okay, so that's the details of the class. And oh, look, now I'm back on comments. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Carol. Who else do we have? Sue, Leslie, Cynthia, Sharon. Awesome. Oh, thanks, you guys. Hey, Helen. Oh, you finally made it. Funny. Well, you got here last night, just maybe like in the 3rd card or something. So, oh, and by the way, Helen, I was just watching another friend's video, and somebody commented on hers that she was having trouble getting into the Stampin' Up system to put in an order earlier today, and she had to call them. But so I just want to let you know it's not just you having the problem. Hi, Nancy. Oh, thanks, you guys. Hey, Sherry. Oh, from Indiana. Awesome. So that was the deal about the class. Let me check my notes again. Dates, so the 20th I need it. The 29th is when I expect to get receive the order from Stampin' Up. And then the 30th I will be able to ship stuff out. And all that is on my blog also. So you can go to my blog and check that out. So let's get to it. We're going to do our next 4 cards. And I just want to remind you, you are cutting your own designer paper. So this is what we have left after we made our cards yesterday. So we've got, I forgot to put some gold snowflakes on one card, but we've got, about half I've used, maybe a little less than half. But then we've got all these bits and pieces left, which I want you to save these. One of these patterns in particular, we're going to need for, I think this one, we're going to need for actually the first card. So yeah, I'm going to pull that out right now, but save all your bits and pieces. All right. Then we've got this pattern left, this one. Oh, I love this one, and actually, let me look at my first card. Yep, we're using this one for our first one, so I'm just going to pull that off. We've got this one left, which I don't think I used. This one, which I don't think I used. This one, cute. All right, so we're going to be using most of this paper. If anything, we may have 2 or 3 pieces left. Hey, Jamie Gibbs, thank you. Oh, thanks, Carol. Yep, today I turned 55. Ugh, it happens, right? All right, so first card. Let's put this aside. So like I said, you're going to want to pull this piece of your scrap out. And it doesn't really matter that the directions, like, I don't think it's really a direction, but we're going to use that. All right, so we've got, this is going to be a simple layer. We're going to do 2 that are like simple layers and then 2 that are fun fold types. So this one, Mossy Meadow, and we've got an early espresso layer. We've got this designer paper that we're cutting, and then a white strip. So I'm using the new, I've got the throughout the year greeting. These are new from the mini catalog, and then the Forever Forest. You use whatever greeting, whatever trees you have. All right. The point is just to stamp some trees on here, and they don't have to be realistic, you know. Now this, I stamped the little dots. That is from the tree, and I just stamped it as a background around the whole thing. But right now I'm going to make it without that. So this will just be a plain Mossy Meadow background, and then you can see which one do you like better. Okay. So our pieces that we've got Mossy Meadow 7 by 10, and that's scored in half at 5. So we're going to fold that. We have got basic white 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and that's for the inside. Did I stamp the inside? Oh, I sure did. All right, so I'm going to wait on that. Otherwise, I would just put it right in. Then we've got our early espresso. This is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then a piece of white that is 1 by 4. All right, so let's cut our pieces. We want our designer paper to be cut 4 by 6. Helen, yes, it actually is. Today is actually the birthday. Yeah, we have been birthdaying. Yep. So we're going to cut this 4 by 6, and then we want to take this scrap piece and we want to cut this to be 1 1/4 by 4. So let's just do that one first. And again, it's this pattern because you're going to be cutting yours. And I guess the trees went that way. So I'm going to do 4 and then 1 1/4. And then for the designer piece, I kind of went this way on it. I cut the 4 inches here just because I knew I wanted to stamp some trees in there. So we're just going to cut this at 4. But you could have cut the other side if you wanted it. Like, I like this green tree over here too. So if you wanted just this way, you could cut your 4 inches there. Up to you. Interesting bit. We'll probably do something with that a different time. Now these little bits, I don't really save these. That's up to you. But for me, it doesn't do much for me. All right. So first we're going to stamp our trees. And actually, let me just do both of these. So I've got my 3 trees mounted on a big block, and we're going to use Mossy Meadow ink. And I'm stamping right on the designer paper. And kind of went like about here, right? And press. Interesting. That looks like it's a different color. It is Mossy Meadow. Okay. This one was more juicy. Very strange. All right, but now I want to get just this tree. So I'm just going to ink up like that half. And then I want to put this like kind of right down here. And then I want to add a little, some of the trees on the inside in this corner. So again, I'm just going to ink up the whole thing. Interesting how different color that is when it dries. I hadn't noticed that before. All right, now we're going to stamp this right in the corner. And then I did like stamp again just so we get some lighter ones. All right, now that, I don't necessarily have to clean that one right away. I worry more about my clear stamps, about getting them cleaned up right away. All right, while we let these dry, we can stamp our greeting. And I'm going to use early espresso. If you don't have early espresso, use black, use whatever dark brown you have, right? And again, I'm using this from the throughout the years. Now I gotta show you, I did not intend for it to be at a little bit more to the right. I was trying to get it centered and that just didn't work. So that's why I ended up putting snowflakes here. So, but then I like it. This time I'm going to try for the center. Okay. But it's up to you. All right. So let's see how this goes. Good enough. All right. I do want to clean this because I think I'm using it again later. All right, let's put that there. And then we can glue this or tape this right to our Mossy Meadow designer paper. And then I'm trying to leave just like the same amount of border, top and bottom. Sometimes that's easier said than done. A little crooked, a little smidge hanging off. Not the end of the world. Okay, so we'll put this piece on the inside. Ugh, look at that. I hope none of that ends up on the front of my card, which it just did. I'm going to have to put some writing over that. All right, let's put this right in here. Lots of room to write with the 5x7 cards, for sure. All right. Now remember, I didn't forget, I did not want to put these dots around the edge on purpose. Hey, Gail, I like it, but I wanted to do it without because I think it's going to look just a little bit cleaner. You've been using Pebbled Path for your sentiments lately, dark without being too harsh. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. That is a nice dark gray. All right, let's tape this on. Sometimes it takes us a little bit to get warmed up to the new ink colors. Usually by the time I'm warmed up to all of them, like if I don't love them immediately, by the time I do get to where I love them, then it's like, oh, they're going to retire in another month. All right, so now we're going to tape this down, and I am going to cover up some of this tree, but you know, that's just how it goes. And I didn't pop this up. I'm popping the whole layer up. I think I am going to like it better without the all the business around it. All right, now let's just get some foam tape to make quick work of this. But I like it. I think any tree you have is going to look great. And if you're trying to make a lot of these, I mean, just remember when you start out with a 7x10 piece of cardstock, like you're using a whole piece for every single card. So you might burn through some paper quicker than you might expect. But they're so cool. Lots of room. All right, let's peel this up. And then we're just going to add some snowflakes. Now, if you don't have Mossy Meadow ink, I think Garden Green would work just as well. Maybe even Old Olive. That would just be a little bit lighter. But it'll work. All right, just going to get a little glue on here. And then I got to try to get this closer to me so I can kind of try to get it centered. All right, that looks good. Press, press, press. And then we're going to add some snowflakes. So I added the white ones versus the gold or the copper because I just thought, I don't know how I feel about gold on here. I don't think I like it. I'm going to stick with the white ones that I used before. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, and I'm not going to get fancy. I'm going to put them like in the same spot pretty much, except down here. So before I had the two little ones here just to kind of make up for having the greeting not centered. This time, let's put it like here and one here, which is kind of balanced, which we don't really need, but it's okay. Thanks, Marilyn. I liked your stencils. All right, and I'm using all the sizes of these little sticky snowflakes. So we've got a small, medium, large, and then we'll do a small and a medium. I love it. So be honest, which one do you guys like better? With the extra dots around it. And if you didn't have these dots, you could use any kind of pattern around on your own or without. And it's not going to hurt my feelings either way. I'm leaning towards I like it without. I just think it looks a little bit cleaner. Yeah. Funny. First is with dots. Second is no dots. Funny how we all have our own. We like what we like, right? That's the beauty. All right. So that was the first easy one. Now we're going to move into this pool party print, which I love this. I don't remember the name of this. And you know what? I can tell right now, I did not get this even. I wanted these two panels, like the side bits, to be even, but I made this a couple years ago with like a regular A2 size card. But now we're just making it bigger. So you're going to need your piece that has this little house, which right here. And you're going to decide, do you want your house on the left? So I would cut it here. Or do you want, or no, I would cut it here. Or do you want it on the right more or in the middle? So I'm going to cut it so the house is in a different spot this time, just so you can tell. So we've got that piece, and this is the only piece we're going to need for that, because whatever we cut off, we're going to put on the inside. So we use it like the whole thing. So we have got, this is pool party. We have got our base is 5x7 pool party. Then I've got a 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 pool party that I embossed with the Time Worn Type folder. Now here's the thing, you need a 6-inch folder, and you can't really tell, it's sideways, right? So when you have your embossing folder, let's say the seam is over here, you want your seam to run back and forth this way in your big shot. You don't want it to run along the top. So I had to put it in sideways, and it has to be a 6-inch folder because the other ones just aren't big enough. They are, I don't think they're quite 6 inches like tall. So anyway, I could have used maybe the dots or one of the ones that's from the Essentials, but I wanted this Time Worn Type. And the fact that it's sideways doesn't matter. So you do not have to emboss it. I did it like up to here, then I flipped it around and I did this part. All this middle is going to get covered up though. Okay. So you really only need the edges to be embossed. Oh, thanks, Lisa. And really, if you wanted to add like just little layers instead, like maybe you want to add just like a 1 inch by 4 3/4 inch embossed piece, you could do that. I just think it's easier, do the whole thing, and then we have this part that we're just going to glue on top. So this, we can just glue this right now. And again, this one was 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. I got to flip my page to my next. Yeah, here we go. Yep. Embossed with distressed Time Worn Type. I wanted to use the distressed tile. But for whatever reason, that was a no-go. And I made this, I don't even remember why it was a no-go. I think because it's a smaller folder and it doesn't fit. All right, so let's glue that on. I love a tone on tone for the background. All right, then the rest of our card bit. So we've got, this is cut from the All About Autumn dies, just a piece of white. Then we've got Pool Party. This is 5 by 10, scored in half at 5. Get that out of the way. and then white for the inside. This is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Now I don't want to put this on the inside quite yet because remember I want to cut the paper, and then whatever I cut off I want to put in here. And if it's not going to match perfectly, I might have to trim it. So we're going to save that. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's get to cutting our paper. So we want this piece to be 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So I started by cutting the bottom off first, all right? Because then I don't know, you know, where I want that house to be. So let's start with that. And we're going to do it opposite. If I could just talk right, then you'll know what I mean. All right, so we want to flip it around and cut at 4 3/4. Now, if you wanted less of this, like if you wanted less up here, you could trim some of that off first and then get it to 4 3/4. But I think this is fine. So we'll cut 4 3/4. Now for this one, I cut it this way. So I cut 4 3/4 right here. So these trees are cut off. So this time I'm going to cut it so these stay and these trees will go on my inside. So again, 4 3/4. All right, that just makes the house be more right in the middle. And that's fine. I just generally like them, like the main thing to, especially like a house like this, to be off to the side. But that's going to be totally fine because the focus is still on that little house. And now we have more of the bridge. So totally fine. All right, this part with the trees. I just want to make sure they're going the right direction. And we will, this time I'm going to glue it on this side just to be different. They don't all have to be exactly how I made them, right? Oops. I'm going to flip that around now that that piece of tape ended up there. Okay, I like a little bit of a white edge on the side. That landed pretty good. I feel like I need a little bit of tape right there. Or glue. There, come on. Jeez. Sometimes the things don't want to work, right? All right, we're going to take this inside. What a mess. All right, we've got our inside. Center. All right, and now this is just going to, we're going to tape this designer paper down. I tell you, these cards, it really is all about these papers. These are a lot of good winter scenes. All right, and then get this lined up. Okay. All right, now we're going to just glue this. Now, do I want to like make it off to the side on purpose? And then I can have the greening over there, or I still like it. I want to try to get it right in the middle again. All right, let's see. So we're just going to glue this down. So yeah, I love all the colors. All right, so I'm just going to do this. Hold them up on my table. And I think that looks about right. Okay, now press. I'm just going to press it with my hands for a few minutes. Now put that on that. Yes, Gail, exactly. All right, now this piece, we're just going to put that in our scrap pile. Now I am probably going to make a couple cards and put as like a bonus project in the PDF tutorial for everybody who gets the kit. And I'm going to try to use up all those scraps to make some different cards. All right. I'm liking this already. And I can tell I got it more centered. Yep. Okay. Greeting. So we've got our white label, and we've got, I want Make the Season Sparkle. I'm using copper clay. If you don't have copper clay, I think early espresso would look nice. You could emboss it in copper. You could do maybe, what other dark brown? Maybe pecan pie. But I like the copper clay. And the Make the Season Sparkle, this is from the Snowflake set, the new Snowflake set. So whatever greeting will fit in here is what you want to use. Warmest wishes. Something from our house to yours. All right, now I do want to clean this. Cute, cute, cute. And then we got to put our, pop this up, so get some dimensionals. I wish I could remember the name of this fold, but I did it, I want to say at least 2 years ago with like regular size. That's been the fun part too, is transitioning. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, transitioning things from like regular size to 5x7. That really has been fun. All right, now this time let's put it over here on this side, just to be different. I like it. And then we'll do some more snowflakes. Yeah, so pool party for Christmas cards. And then the other combination that you and I both love is purple and pink, or purple and pool party. All right, let's do, so see, I've only got 4 of these big ones left, but that's fine. We want to use up our stuff. Now I want to go, since I've got the greeting here and these trees are here, I don't necessarily want to put all the snowflakes here, like opposite. I think I'm going to do 2 here and 1 here, because it's just a different setup now. And then that. So I'll do, see, let's do a big one here. And then medium right there. And then the small over here. Just so we have still kind of balanced, but different. I like it. And then we've got the tree in here. So yeah, I think I'm just going to call this like, I don't know, flip up, middle flip up or something. I'll have to go back and see if I can find that blog post from a couple years ago. See what did I call them there. But yeah, I really like that with the copper clay. Okay. Number 3. Now this one, I mean, I love them all, you guys. Who am I kidding? But some are more my favorites. All right, so this one, I was trying to go for a scene that, like, if you're looking out a window. And I know I could have made this brown, like, if you're inside the house looking out, like a panel, you know, your window panes. But I went with blue just because I wanted to stick with these colors. So we've got a Night of Navy base, a Misty Moonlight layer, and then we've got 4 panels that we're going to cut so we still keep the scene together, because your eye fills in these gaps, right? So you just see a tree. You don't really see nobody really pays attention to the gap there, but I like this style. All right, so we've got Night of Navy, 7x10. Again, score, fold in half at 5. Then I've got basic white for the inside, and I don't think I did anything. Nope, I didn't do anything to the inside, so we can just put that in there. So we've got 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. I need to get that out of the way. And this thing, I am using up all my fast fuse stash. Sue and I can't remember why we bought so many, but it had to have been a sale. And they tricked us into buying them all up. Okay, so that's that. Now our window piece. So this Misty Moonlight, let me check because I don't want to lie to you. I had to measure this. And here's my design. Or no, actually, this is how I figured it out. So I sketched out my panel, and I knew I wanted these rectangles to be 2 by 3 and then just add in, I wanted an 1/8 inch gap in between there. So 3 and 3 is 6, and then 1, 2, 3/8. So 6 and 3/8, and then the same thing over here. These are 2 inches tall, and then 3/8 inch. So 4 and 3/8. So that's how I got to that measurement. So again, 4 and 3/8 by 6 and 3/8. And now we want to cut our designer paper. So we want to go to our pile, and that'll be for the next one. We want this one right here, our lonely little tree. And I think I just cut like I started here. So we want to cut, let's turn it this way. I want to cut a 2-inch strip and then another 2-inch strip. And then I'll turn those and cut them at 3. Because that'll leave me like a 2-inch strip down here that if I'm trying to do something else with it, like it's better to have a big chunk, right? So let's get the cutter. So again, I want a 2-inch strip this way. So I got to turn it and cut at 2 inches. And then I want another 2 inches. And before I confuse myself, this part I'm going to put in the scrap pile. All right, now these, we just turn them and we're cutting them in half at 3. And I kind of want to keep them in order, but it'll be like a puzzle. We'll be able to figure it out. All right, and again at 3. Now it's important that we dry fit these first because we want to make sure that we have our gaps the same. Because, you know, I mean, you could get a ruler if you really wanted to, but I just kind of play with it, get it close. That looks good. And then I'll start in one corner and just tape them down. Okay, so tape. That looks good. And if I end up kind of wonky, I can just hand trim it or, you know, put it back in the cutter. Like if it doesn't end up perfect, but it's going to be good enough. Let me get my head in here. So you just want to keep them lined up horizontally. And if you have to like bring your ruler in, if you want to hold it like this so you get it the same way across, then do it. Hey, Vicky, whatever you need. All right, and then we're going to do this one. Sticky. I like this window look effect. But yeah, if you wanted to do a different scene, like if you have different designer paper, you could definitely do this in brown, like it's your wood window frame. Maybe stamp or emboss it with some timber or wood first. All right, getting that. That looks good enough. I love it. All right, now this is all popped up, and then the greeting, we've got a 2-inch circle and a 2 1/4 inch circle. So 2-inch circle of white, 2 1/4 inch circle of Night of Navy. But I'm actually going to pop this up. Yeah, so I ended up not going to work today. I didn't decide that till about 12 o'clock. And then we went to, not Walmart, we went to Target to get my year's supply of pumpkin spice Cheerios because it's limited. They only have it once a year. Once it's gone, it's gone. Last year and this year, they do not have it at Walmart. That's usually where I would get it. So I got 22 boxes. It filled up the trunk, but I'm set for the year. Dave's always like, why don't you get something else? Try a different flavor. I like the pumpkin spice Cheerios, and that's it. I don't need any flavors. I can eat the same thing every day. Doesn't matter. All right, so let's get this on, and we're just centering it. Oh, I hope that's good because that is really sticking down. Okay. So much for putting that glue on so I could wiggle it around some. All right, I got lucky there. Okay, greeting. This cheers to you and the new year. This is from, again, that throughout the year set. One of the latest in the mini catalog, but you use whatever. Sue, oh my God, gross. You don't like pumpkin spice? I love it. In fact, one year when they first came out, it was, when was it? A couple years ago. And by the way, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight ink for this. When they first came out, I got a whole bunch of boxes. I hadn't committed to getting enough for the whole year. But I made Rice Krispie treats, but with pumpkin spice Cheerios. They were delicious. And I took them into work and shared them, and everyone loved them. They're definitely crunchier than Rice Krispies, though. All right, that looks good enough. Cheers to you and the new year. Now, of course, if you don't want to make these Christmas or New Year's, if you want to make these birthday or whatever, obviously there's no police around. You can put whatever greeting you want on these. All right, let's glue this. And Gail puts the vomit symbol. I mean, hey, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not going to force anybody to eat them, but I enjoy them. All right, now this one I just put down flat. I didn't want to pop it up anymore. I do want to pay attention, like try to get my words straight, straightish. All right, that looks good. And now this, we're going to add some gold snowflakes. Oh, you're kidding me. I should have put my pin back in. Yeah, you shouldn't knock them until you try them, Julie. Yeah, bars with cream cheese frosting. Yeah. They are good. All right, let's do that. And I'm not getting crazy with trying to figure out new placements for my snowflakes. Whatever I did the first time is good enough. All right, so we want a big one. And then we want a medium. And then a small one. Okay, so that is that. I love like the window effect of it. So, and I feel like there's been a lot of blue lately with this paper pack, which, you know, not usually a fan of, but it's working. All right, last one. I saved the best for last. Now this is the pièce de résistance. This is a 5x7 bay window card. And I showed you, I think I showed you this in the preview. I made it with petal pink because I like it. I was sick of the blues. And there was petal pink in these, so I like it. Now this was tricky too. It took me maybe 2 tries to get the measurements right for that. Now, why do we only have 3 pieces with the designer paper? Because you would think, oh, let's just cut the whole thing. And this is a piece we're going to use for this. Well, there's not enough space. Even with the gaps, we need certain, let's go over our measurements. Tri-panel, nope. Oh, here we go. Large bay window. So like these pieces on the sides are 1 3/8, and this is 1 3/4. So there's just not enough left in the 6x6 piece. All right, so so let's start off with we'll cut our paper later. We're going to need 2 pieces of petal pink that are 5x7. All right, so we've got that, and then we've got our white for the inside that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then we've got 2 pieces here that are, well, actually, let's do the one piece petal pink. This is 1 1/4 by 4. That's for popping up right over here. This is the ledge that's going to keep everything contained. Then I've got 2 pieces of petal pink that I embossed with the timber folder. You could do whatever folder you wanted. I like the timber one. And these are 1 by 4 3/4. Let me just double check that. Yep, 1 by 4 3/4. Okay, so we can start by, let's start by doing our scoring. And then we have 2 little punched out bits for our greeting. We're only going to score the top piece. All right. So we're taking our 5 by 7 and we're scoring at, and now, you know, I like to, when I score it, I like to fold it down. So this may seem strange, but it'll make sense in the end. All right. We're going to score at 1 1/4 and 6 1/2. All right. That gives us a 1/2 inch. That's our flap that's going to lock our card in for us. I think we did it and we had like a 1/4 inch on the other side, but this we need a little bit more room because it's a bigger card. So 1 1/4, 6 1/2. Then you're going to flip it towards you once, and then we're going to score it at 2 7/8 and 4 7/8. All right, so that makes this part in the middle 2 inches, and then these should be 1 3/4. No, 1 5/8. 1 5/8 each. It all works out. All right, so now let's do all of our fold marks. So when I score, I want that bump to be buried. So I want that in. Then we've got these 2. I have to flip it over. So bury the bump. Bury the bump. Get those. And that. And then our last one, flip it. Scores going down, so we want to bury that. All right, now, this is how we want it to sit up. So we're going to glue this down to our base. Actually, let's tape down our, I better use glue for all of this right now. We want to glue our white down first. Just because I want to cover up all the edges. So let's center this. Okay. And then we can glue this tab. So the 1 1/4 inch, that's going to get glued on the left side. All right, so glue. Don't be shy. I can't wait to see if you guys use these measurements and make like a different design, but with this large bay window. All right, now both of these, I'm putting them on the table and then butting them up. So that will help me keep it nice and smooth right there. All right. Okay, let's do that. Now let's bring these pieces in. So one of these, we've got 2 embossed pieces and 1 plain. This will be for our part over here, and then our embossed pieces go right on top. So I'm going to just glue this down. And you just want it to be centered. And then same thing with this. We're going to glue it, and we just want it to be centered. Now we want this piece to be raised up a little bit. So I'm going to put foam tape just down this side, right there. That's so this part can slip under, okay? So if we have that comes about halfway in. If we have our foam tape here, that's going to interfere, right? So we just want it along this side. And this is, I don't know how big this is, 1/2 inch. This will be perfect, but you could go smaller. All right, let's do that. Rose, bury the bump sounds like a hitman. I mean, hey, whatever works. All right, now this, again, I'm going to put both of them down just so they're both even. There we go. And we have a nice perfect edge. And this slides right under there. All right, now we've got to cut our designer pieces. And we want to cut them in order. So we want to cut a 1 3/8 piece for this. Then we want to cut a 1 3/4 piece for that. And then another 1 3/8 piece. Let's set that down. And we want the seam to be continuous, right? So that's why I don't like to just chop off whatever it is. I just want to keep them in order. All right, so our tall, 4 3/4 tall. All right, and notice here, how much fence do you want to show versus the sky? So I wanted to cut more off down here, but a little bit off here because I didn't want all this extra sky because that means the fence is right down here at the bottom. You could do whatever, you know, whatever you want, but I'm going to cut just like at 1/2 inch off the top. Let's get all this out of the way. So this is the one where there's maybe more cutoffs. All right, 1/2 inch off the top makes this 5.5 inches. All right, and that looks about right. Yep, I want that like at the top. So now I want it to be 4 3/4 inch tall. So I got to turn it this way and go in 4 3/4. Scraps, we're going to put these over on the scrap pile, and that's a good pattern. What is that, Pebble Path or Crumb Cake or something? Now, we're just going to cut our pieces. So we're going to start with 1 3/8. 1 3/8. Then 1 3/4. And then again 1 3/8. And it's just so our seam lines up. And then this piece again, you know, I guess we could have put that on the inside, but it's going to go in the scrap pile. All right, so we've got here, all of our pieces line up, and we're just going to tape these on. So if you had another scenery, like, remember, I think I did quite a few of these with that paper pumpkin kit, the Exploring in Color. And you want that seam to just roll along so everything looks consistent. All right, let's do that. Now I can tell this is a little bit crooked, but that's another beauty of tone on tone, is that it's going to hide some of that. Well, all of it, because you can't really tell. Thanks, Julie. I love this one too. I love the 5x7 and just the whole bay window deal. All right, let's get that down. Oops. And then our last one. And then we're just going to add a greeting, because the bay window itself is what it's all about. And see how easy that goes? Now, here's the thing. When you're folding up your bay window, like, you know, you get it, somebody mails it to you, you put it in. Sometimes, see how it looks a little bit wonky? All you have to do is push this over and to get it straight. So you don't have to mess with it too much. So again, put it in, and we can see it's not quite straight. Just push it, and then it's perfectly the way it should be. All right, so let's do our greeting. And this one was in Early Espresso, and I did the winter greetings. That is from the Snowflake set again. And I put that away. Let me see. Sparkling snowflakes. Here we go. Is this one going to fit? No. Ooh, I could do Let It Snow too, but I do like winter greetings. Let It Snow. Let's just do Let It Snow, just to be different, because they don't all have to be same. All right, Let It Snow. And if you wanted to do this in Night of Navy, if you didn't like the brown, that's your choice, right? All right, let's do that. Love it. Yeah, I am real happy with the petal pink. I do like some pink holiday cards. All right, this is going to get taped, and then popped up, and then we're just going to add some snowflakes. And I did use the white snowflakes on this one. I just didn't think gold wasn't doing it for me. Okay. All right, let's just use this whole corner thing up. I am going to have to find something with gold. I have a lot of gold ones left. All right, and then I just put this down here like kind of in the middle, like down a little bit. I just didn't want it like right in the middle. I just thought that looked weird, but I like it like that. All right, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snowflakes. Yeah, see, oh, you know what? The copper would look nice with this, I think. They would certainly stand out more than the white, because this, you don't really see the white until you're looking at it, do you? Like if I turn it this way, you can see them. Yeah. Let's do the copper ones. Why not? I didn't think I would use those so much, but yeah. All right, 1, and I'm going to put them in the same place just because. Why should I make it harder for myself? Okay, do that. And if you are making these at home and you don't have the snowflakes, then you just use gems, iridescent rhinestones, iridescent pearls, like something. All right, and I just put my finger in something. Let's go right here, and then a medium one. Yeah, I like the copper for sure on the petal pink. Okay. So look at, so we do end up using about half of our snowflake gems. So you still have some to make more with, but ooh, I like it. I like it with the copper. I don't know if that shows a difference or not. So, all right, ladies. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, look at that. And we're done like 7 minutes early. So I am going to, because I started updating my blog already, so I'm going to have my pictures updated and all the measurements. I'm going to have that done tonight. And like I said, all the scraps that we had. So look, I've got 1, 2, only got 3 pieces of paper left that we did not use for the cards. So you're getting your quarter pack. So we'll have that left. And then all these scraps. I am going to come up with a couple of cards just as a bonus thing for the people that get the PDF part. So have this updated. This Thursday, I will not be online because I've been here 3 days in a row. But next Thursday, I'm doing projects with the Countryside Corners dies. Now, I didn't get that stamp set because it just didn't do it for me. But the dies I like, and I've got some decor things and a little scrapbook. So it's going to be cool. So come back next Thursday, right? And then Sue will she'll be here Friday, and then Gail on Sunday. And then we'll do it again next week, right? So, okay, email me if you are interested in the card kit for this class. I need all that. RSVPs are by next Wednesday, the 20th, and all that stuff's on my blog. So, all right, thanks, you guys. Good night.